Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host. Hi, welcome back to the Baseball Hut. I'm going to do a little sort of a rant with some numbers based upon it. This is about Carlos Carrasco, the Mets starter that they've been running out there for the last 3 years. Before we get into this video, I need you to subscribe and like this video. So I don't normally focus in on one player too often. I've done that with Daniel Vogelbach. He sort of has been able to avoid the getting kicked get kicked into the phantom zone. But he'll probably be out of here after the season, you would think. But let me go over some numbers for Carlos Carrasco. They picked up in the big trade with Francisco Lindor. Knowing that, first of all, the Mets won the Francisco Lindor trade. All the guys that were part of that trade that got moved to Cleveland, they are gone. And the only player that's there is Andres Gimenez, and he's sort of struggled this year. And the other guys have been not on the team, or they're just not in the major leagues. But Carrasco was part of this deal. I keep looking over here because I got all the numbers here on the side. I have to write it down to sort of, for me to grasp it and explain it. Can't do it on the screen to you, at least for myself. But we have a situation where we have a guy that's in this rotation. He's 36 years old. This team is basically playing out the string with 30 some odd games left to go, and he's pitched terribly. And really, over the 3 years that he's been with the Mets, he's pitched terribly, other than last year. And if I were to redo his numbers here, just that include 2021 and this year, there's no reason for him to be on this team. Now he had a good year last year, had an ERA under 4, was 15-7, led the Mets in wins on a team that won 101 games. It's quite the quirk, considering how poorly he's pitched the other 2 years. So let's go through some of these numbers, and really the last 6 starts of his run here, which are really quite horrible. And it makes me wonder, why isn't Joey Lucchesi in this rotation? Now, he's not a world beater by any stretch of the imagination, but he should be in AAA. Let's see what he finally has here. Mets gave up a lot to get him here. They gave up Andy Rodriguez, who's a big catching prospect that the former general manager Jared Porter. Remember Jared Porter? Ding 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 ding. You know that guy, texting women trying to go out with them. Well, he made this trade for Andy. He traded Andy Rodriguez for Joey Lucchesi. So I'd like to see Lucchesi pitch instead of him coming. He makes these sort of spot starts and then goes back to the minor leagues. I'd like to see him get the last 5-6 starts of the season before we end this, before we drop this curtain and burn this tape forevermore. Let's run through the numbers of Carrasco here. Over his last 5 starts prior to the game on Saturday night, I'm just going to add up the numbers. In 5 starts, he has pitched 20 1/3 innings, given up 21 runs, 19 earned runs, struck out 15 batters, given up 4 home runs, 34 hits, 7 walks to an ERA of 8.41. If you include the innings and the earned runs in his Saturday night start, 22 innings, 24 runs in his last 6 starts with an ERA of 9.81. Exhausting to read it to you, and I know you're tired of watching him pitch. One of the things we know that the way he's pitched over the last 3 years is that he likes to give up runs in the first. And he doesn't like doing it, but it just sort of happens. And 20 starts this year for the New York Mets. Carlos Carrasco has pitched 20 games. And over 90 innings, he's given up 115 hits, 71 runs scored on him, 68 earned runs, 38 walks, 66 strikeouts, 18 home runs. He's 3-8. With an ERA of 6.80 and 61 career starts with the New York Mets. He is 19-20, and most of those wins are from last year. If you take away those wins, win-loss record, he's 4-13 in the 2 to 3 years. His overall ERA in the 3 years is 5.21. In 295 innings, he has given up 335 hits, 47 homers, and only struck out 268 batters. This is about as bad as it gets. This is not major league capable. This is not major league pitching. This is a guy who's on the way out. I'm sorry to say. I know that he's gone through a lot in his life. He's overcome a lot physically with the cancer that he had a few years ago. But he is not a major league pitcher at this point in his career. And Mets should not be fooling themselves and throwing him back out there every 5 days to see him not perform. So, this is a rather short video of me just sort of ragging on this poor guy. But I didn't go crazy. I didn't like belittle him in any way because obviously he's a guy that's a classy guy. But his numbers here do not warrant him being in this rotation. And Buck Showalter said the other day after the game that there is some kind of they're not quite sure if he's going to make the next round to the rotation. There shouldn't be any question he shouldn't be pitching again for the New York Mets. So let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Thank you, and I'll see you later.